My fellow Flames of Amethyst, 2.5 is right around the corner, and with the release of Wuthering Waves 2.5, we are finally, after over a year of being patient, waiting, wanting, and begging, we are finally getting the release of Froolova, one of the overseers of the Resonators, one of the characters the community has been begging for since we first saw her in 1.0 last year in the release of Wuthering Waves. Now, something that I wanted to discuss is a theory surrounding Froolova and a theory that I've come up with myself, because I love creating theories around certain characters I'm excited for, and I like looking into the community and seeing what theories other people have come up with. Other content creators like Ufi and Life Lessons are very good lore creators and theory crafters, so when I see their videos and I see other people in the community come up with their own theories about what's going on in the story or surrounding certain characters, it inspires me to create videos like that of my own. I've done many different videos about Camellia, Yuan Wu, Geshu Lin, other characters surrounding their lore, even Jian. But I wanted to talk about something that's going on with Froolova, because if you remember, every time we see Froolova, she's bandaged up. Every time we see any kind of overseer that works for the Resonators, except for Cristofaro, they are always injured, bandaged up, or something is going on. Even the minions and the lackeys are wearing protective masks, or they're scarred up, or they have some sort of mutation. And this is because the Resonators create artificial resonators. Those who don't know what artificial resonators are, if we go back to Camellia, Camellia was created as an artificial resonator. It's a very painful process where a human and a tacit discord are forcefully fused together to create a resonator, an unnatural born resonator, an artificial resonator if you will. And this is very dangerous because, as you can see in Camellia's story in 1.4, she has to always go back to a healing pod in the Black Shores, because when she uses her resonance ability for too long, she becomes unstable and goes mad and can go on a rampage, as we saw her destroy her hometown in her story. Now, the reason I bring up Froolova is because Froolova is bandaged up, and when you see her drip marketing art, she looks like she's crying, and in another one she's smiling, and it genuinely looks like she is injured, or looks like every time she uses her resonance ability she hurts herself. There is a blood drop tear coming from her right eye. Her right eye is of a crimson color, as for the other eye it's a regular color, so maybe when she uses her resonance ability this triggers something in her body because she is an artificial resonator. That is my theory. I believe every overseer or every member of the Resonators, or at least 90% of them, are artificial resonators created by higher members of the Resonators or other overseers of the Resonators, such as Cristofaro. Now, Cristofaro's resonance ability is creating alternate timelines or warping realities to his will. So maybe there is a side effect that we're just not seeing when it comes to Cristofaro and his resonance ability. As you can see, Scar is covered in scars, hence the nickname Scar that he's probably been given over many years of working for the Resonators. I don't think his original name was Scar. I do believe he was a person before he became Scar, but I think because of his mutation and because he himself is an artificial resonator, that he has been given the title or the name of Scar, since his body is, well, covered in scars. He's insane, he's lost his mind, so maybe his resonance ability and the price he paid for becoming an artificial resonator is losing his mind, going insane, transforming into this great goat-looking thing, and having scars all around his body. And with Froolova, maybe something that she has to endure, maybe the physical pain that she has to endure is the fact that she bleeds from the eyes, and maybe she unfortunately is in immense pain when she uses her resonance ability, and when she uses Hecate, which is to do with her resonance ability, maybe she is in turmoil, maybe she is in discomfort, and maybe something is going on internally within her body and mind, similar to Scar, which is causing her to potentially overclock. Now, to those that do not know what overclocking is, or to those that have forgotten, overclocking is when a resonator uses too much of their resonance ability for their body and mind to handle. They go beyond their limits, but unfortunately, the vessel where their resonance ability resides within themselves cannot handle this much output. Therefore, it causes them to physically injure themselves, or go mentally insane, or both, or it can cause them to go into a blind rage and attack everything and everyone in sight. Imagine like a wild, rabid animal that has lost control of its mind, and now all it's doing is just going on a massive rampage. That essentially is what overclocking can do to a resonator. Now, base resonators do not overclock easy. It takes an immense amount of mental and physical stress for a resonator to snap, or for a resonator to use that much resonance power for them to overclock. But artificial resonators do not have complete control over their abilities, which could also be the reason why a lot of the overseers of the Fractidus, or every member of the Fractidus, has some sort of physical injury or is insane to a certain degree. It could be the reason why Scar has scars all over his body, because it could be self-inflicting due to the fact that he's using his resonance ability. It could also be the reason why Scar is clearly mentally insane, because again, the toll of his ability is too much for his body and mind to handle. It could be the reason, going back to Froolova, why she has a bandage over her right eye, and it could be the reason why she is bleeding. There was a crimson red tear, which looks like a blood tear coming from her red crimson eye, and this can indicate the fact that when she uses her resonance ability, she is bleeding from the eyes and she can be physically damaging herself due to the toll that her resonance ability is having on her body. Now, it looks like Froolova is in her right state of mind, or at least at the moment, at this present moment, it looks like she is. So maybe she is mentally stronger and maybe she has a better sense of willpower compared to the other overseers. So maybe it's affecting her physically, but not mentally like Scar. Now, the reason I'm talking about Froolova like this, and the reason why I'm referencing the Fractidus specifically, is because a lot of people are worried that Froolova is going to turn good. A lot of people believe that in the story, Froolova is slowly going to turn to the good side and leave the Fractidus, because if you've noticed, every time we interact with Froolova, she's giving us breadcrumbs to either one, help us succeed in our cause and help us succeed in stopping the Fractidus, or two, which is the one that I'm hoping for, she's giving us deliberate breadcrumbs which Cristoforo is telling her to give us in order for the Fractidus' plan to come into fruition. Now, I don't want Froolova to turn good, I want her to remain a villain, which means when we play her and when she's summonable, she's still a villain. I do not want, when 2.5 comes out, is for us to play the story and play the story of Froolova, or at least play a character story or play another part of the main story, for us to then turn Froolova to the good side, or at least show a glimpse of the fact that Froolova is not inherently evil and she has some sort of reason why she joined the Fractidus, and we feel sorry for her, which gives us motivation to bring her back to the good side. And maybe she wasn't always evil, maybe she had to do this for some odd reason, or maybe there's no other choice and she's being held against her will or something. I don't know. There's lots of different theories, but one of the main theories I'm seeing, which the community is not happy with, is the fact that Froolova could be turning to the good side. And there is a theory saying the reason why she's so gentle around Rover, and why she's so playful, and why she's so helpful, and why she gives us clues and riddles to help us succeed in our goal, is because she doesn't inherently want us to fail. She wants us to succeed, and maybe this is the only way for her to do so, to give it to us in riddles, so it looks like she's helping the Fractidus, when actually she's leading us down the right path to help and succeed in our goals. Now, the last thing I'll say about this theory, and the last thing I will say about if Wuthering Waves is choosing to make this villain eventually turn good, which it looks like a lot of people are putting together to be the case, the only way to make that potential story a redeeming factor is if she betrays the Fractidus in order to help us achieve our goals and to help us succeed in our missions, is for the Fractidus to eventually kill Froolova if they sense that she is going to betray them. That is the only way, in my opinion, that this could be a redeeming factor in that potential story, in that potential theory of a story that they could be doing. If the Fractidus get wind that Froolova is helping Rover, and Froolova is actually turning away from the dark side and stepping into the light and planning to betray the Fractidus, the only logical solution, in my opinion, is for them to kill Froolova. That would do two things. One, it would solidify how evil the Fractidus are, which is giving us more of a motivation to take them down and stop them from doing whatever they're doing. And two, it would have one of the most hyped up characters since release to be released for us to summon to play, and then for the character within the story to die, giving us the first major death in the franchise. And I think that's a good thing. If they choose to go down the route of Froolova's going to be a good character in the future, or turn good, they need for that to happen. I do not want Froolova to turn good and be a permanently good character, unless she turns good and we just don't trust her. We just never ever trust her, and she's now spending the rest of her time with us, proving to us that she can be trusted. That is the only other way that would work, but then I just still wouldn't really like it 110%. I think the only way to make that a redeeming quality is the fact that she betrays the Fractidus, helps us achieve our goals, and helps us succeed in the current mission at hand, and then she dies. Because the Fractidus is like, we don't take kindly to traitors. be gone. Either a new Threnodian kills her, either the old Threnodian, the Overfrax, kills her, or a new Overseer kills her, or Christophoro or Scar kills her. That is the only way, in my personal opinion, Froolova turns good and it makes it a redeemable story because it makes her a redeemable character. That's the only way that works. And I don't care about the outrage. I don't care if you disagree with me. I don't care if you go, but I love Froolova. Yes, I like Froolova. I think Froolova's a very cool character. But I think down the line, that would make Froolova a successfully redeemable character, as in evil to good. And it also gives a weight and a gravity of a situation where the Fractioners are truly evil and do not give a shit about their members at all. But that's just my opinion, and that's just some of the theories I have. Let me know down below in the comments what you think is going to happen in the story, and let me know what you think of Froolova potentially turning good or potentially dying within the story. See you guys in the next one. Take it easy. Have a good rest of your day.